I'm 102 years old. 102. Let that sit with you for a second. I was born before television told people what to think, before food came in bright boxes with smiling cartoons, before folks needed a pill for every feeling they had. I've buried friends. I've buried family. I've buried doctors who told me I wouldn't make it past 70 if I kept eating the way I did. Yet here I am, still waking up under my own power, still remembering my name, still tying my own boots. My name is Arthur Morgan, and I've been asked the same question for the last 40 years. What's your secret? People want something fancy, a miracle, a powder you can stir into water, a diet with a name somebody trademarked. I always disappoint them, because the truth is plain, old, and stubborn, just like me. I didn't live this long by chasing trends. I lived this long by ignoring most of them, especially when it came to food. See, I've watched the rules change so many times, they started contradicting themselves. First, fat was the devil, then sugar was the devil, then salt, then meat, then eggs. Funny thing is, every time they changed their minds, the people who followed the old rules didn't drop dead. They just kept eating breakfast. So I'll tell you what's kept me alive. Not theories, not studies I can't pronounce. Just the 5 foods I've eaten consistently, calmly, without fear. The same way I've lived my life. The first one is the one that makes people nervous. Eggs. Whole eggs. Yolks and all. For decades they told folks the yolk would kill you, said it would clog your arteries like grease in a drain, scared an entire generation into throwing away the best part. That wasn't science. That was guessing dressed up as authority. An egg is life in a shell. Everything needed to build a brain, muscles, eyes, nerves, choline for memory, healthy fats for the heart, vitamins that don't come from a factory. I've eaten eggs almost every day of my adult life, fried, boiled, scrambled, sometimes cooked in butter, sometimes in bacon grease when times were good. My heart never complained. My mind never fogged. What did suffer were the people who replaced eggs with sweet cereal and called it healthy. The second food is beef. Real beef, not the kind pumped full of nonsense and locked indoors. Beef from an animal that walked, ate grass, and saw sunlight. They'll tell you red meat shortens your life. They won't tell you what happens when old men stop getting iron, B12, zinc, and real protein. I've seen it. Weak legs, shaking hands, minds that fade before the body does. Your muscles don't care about headlines. Your blood doesn't care about documentaries. Your body needs strength. Beef provides it, not in theory, in practice. I didn't eat steak every day. I ate it regularly, with respect, like something valuable. And it paid me back by keeping my body solid long after my peers started breaking. The third food comes from the water. Fatty fish, sardines, mackerel, salmon when it was available. I didn't know the names for it back then, but now they call it omega-3. All I knew was this: men who ate fish stayed sharper, less angry, less brittle inside. Your brain is mostly fat. Starve it of the right kind and it turns against you. Memory slips, mood darkens, thought slows. I watched it happen to men who lived on bread and sugar. Fish kept my head clear. It kept sadness from settling in too deep. It kept my hands steady when others started trembling. If there's rust inside a man, fish oil slows it down. The fourth food is fermented. We didn't use that word. We said sauerkraut, pickles, yogurt, buttermilk. Food that's alive teaches your body how to stay alive. Your gut isn't a trash pit. It's a control center. When it's angry, everything else follows. I've known men who ate clean, exercised, did everything right on paper, and still stayed sick. Their guts were dead, sterilized by processed food and fear of bacteria. A little sour keeps you strong. A little bite reminds your system how to work. Digestion matters more than people think. You can eat the best food in the world, but if your gut can't use it, you're just passing it through. And the fifth one, this is the quiet one, the one nobody expects. Coffee, black coffee, plain, no sugar, no syrups, no dessert pretending to be a drink. I've had a cup nearly every morning since I was a young man. Not for energy, for rhythm, for clarity, for the ritual of starting the day alert instead of drifting into it. They warned me about my heart. It never listened. Coffee sharpened my thinking, lifted the fog, helped my circulation. The real danger was never coffee. It was panic, worry, living scared of everything. Now listen carefully, because this matters. None of these foods worked because they were magic. They worked because I ate them without guilt, without fear, without constant self-surveillance. Stress kills faster than butter ever could. Shame ruins digestion. Fear ages you. I ate food that made sense to a human being, food that existed before marketing departments, food my grandparents recognized, and I ate it slowly, gratefully, and regularly. That's part one of the truth. If this makes you angry, if it challenges what you've been told, good. Sit with it, think about it, and tell me in the comments which food you were warned about that never actually hurt you. Now listen to me, because this is where people stop listening and start getting uncomfortable. Food matters. I told you that. It's the foundation, but it is not the whole house. I've known men who ate cleaner than a church kitchen and still died young. And I've known others who lived on eggs, beef, and coffee and made it past 100. The difference wasn't luck. It wasn't genetics. It was how they lived inside their own heads. You can poison yourself without ever touching food. The first thing that mattered more than anything I ate was this: I never rushed my life. People today live like they're being chased. Every meal is fast, every thought is faster, always somewhere else, always late, always behind. That kind of living keeps your body in a permanent state of alarm, and a body that thinks it's under attack will break itself down. I ate slowly. I walked slowly. I worked steady. When I rested, I rested. When I worked, I worked. I didn't pretend to do both at once. Your nervous system needs to feel safe. No amount of healthy food can fix a body that never gets out of fight mode. The second thing was forgiveness, and I don't say that lightly. I carried anger once. It sat in my chest like a stone, took my sleep, tightened my jaw, made everything taste bitter. I watched what it did to other men, too. They aged fast, faces hardened, hearts wore out early. Forgiveness isn't about letting someone win. It's about letting your body breathe again. The moment I let go of grudges I couldn't change, my health improved more than any diet ever did. Bitterness is a slow poison, and it doesn't care how clean your blood work looks. The third thing was purpose. Every morning I had a reason to stand up. Sometimes it was work. Sometimes it was responsibility. Sometimes it was simply curiosity about what the day might bring. When a man stops needing himself, his body follows. Muscles fade, appetite disappears, the mind gives up. I've seen it too many times. Retirement kills more men than hard labor ever did. I always stayed useful. Even when my hands weren't strong, my judgment was. Even when my legs slowed, my words still mattered. You need to feel needed, not praised, needed. The fourth thing was sunlight and movement. Nothing dramatic, no gyms, no routines people sell subscriptions to. I walked. I worked outside. I let the sun hit my skin. I let my joints move the way they were meant to. Humans weren't built to sit under artificial light all day. Your bones, your hormones, your sleep, they all depend on light and motion. People underestimate how much being indoors ages you. The fifth thing was sleep. Real sleep. I didn't stay up arguing with screens. I didn't drag yesterday's worries into the night. I went to bed tired and woke up rested. Most healing happens when you're unconscious. If you rob yourself of that, you're stealing from your future. And here's something most people don't want to hear. I didn't obsess over health. I didn't track every number. I didn't read headlines about what was going to kill me this week. I trusted my body. I paid attention to how I felt, not what I was told to fear. Fear ages you faster than fat ever will. I ate food that made me feel strong. I lived in a way that made me feel calm. I loved people deeply. I laughed often. I accepted that pain and loss were part of the deal, not signs that something had gone wrong. Longevity isn't about control. It's about alignment. When your food, your thoughts, your habits, and your values stop fighting each other, the body settles. And when the body settles, it lasts. I didn't live 102 years by trying to live forever. I lived by paying attention while I was here. So if you're younger than me, and you are, stop waiting for permission to live well. Eat real food. Move your body. Forgive faster. Sleep deeper. Turn the noise down. And if this spoke to you, say so in the comments. Tell me what part of your life feels rushed, heavy, or out of balance. Someone else reading might need to hear your answer just as much as you needed to hear this. Thank you for watching this video. Click here to watch another video that might interest you.